Yes, good morning. I am saying good morning because at the time I'm doing this recording, it's 10 a.m. So that is why I'm saying good morning. So depending on when you are watching it, I still greet you. Okay. Um, this is project 4, and these are the things that they want us to do, or the aspects that we are going to tackle. That is current progress status of the project, total expenditure to date, breakdown of spending by location, specifics on what the funds have been used for, and all that. So the last time we did the project 3, this was what we got, right? So with project 3, so this is the project 3. You can see all my indicators in the dashboard. Everything is here. When you come to Sokoto, everything is here like that. Okay, right. So if you haven't done all these for project 3, you should be able to do that. And when you have these, the MCQ, answering the MCQ becomes so easy. When you have these, it becomes so easy for you. But if you don't have this, you have to dwell on guesswork. Okay, right. So we are on project 4, and there are some instructions. Here we are told to remove some columns from our, so look at this. I notice my Power BI is getting a bit slow. So if yours is too, these steps will be optimized or will help optimize our PBIX file a bit. Make a copy of the PBIX file from last time and put it into a new folder and save this one as public dashboard using Saver. Then delete all of the visuals pages. This will slow down Power BI quite a bit. So let's start fresh. All right. So um, this is what they want us to do. Do a copy of this. So our previous one, this one, we do a copy by. For me, I'll just do save as again. And this time around, instead of project 3, I'll have project 4. But then they gave us a name. But I would, for easy identification on my side, I'll do project 4. Nobody's going to ask you what name did you give to your project. So project 4, and then I select the location, then save. So as far as I've saved project 4, project 3 ceases to exist in this case. It is a file, it is still there, just that whatever I do here will not affect project 3, but rather project 4. So we are told to remove everything because of these things, everything has become slow. So I'm trying to remove them. So I click on the times button to remove them. Great. So let me remove some of these ones. Okay, remove this, remove that, remove that. So you remove everything yourself. I will leave the map. So in case they want us to use the map again, yeah, I'll use it. So for now, let's leave it like this and then continue. So we are told to I remove some of the data we don't need anymore. So if you are seeing empty columns, it's okay. So this one that they are talking about, I wonder why they brought this here. Because they never talked about an Excel file that this person used and removed. Okay, so as at this point, we don't know which file he is talking about. So this is the file, it is down here. So he has removed those files, those uh, columns. So these are the columns that she removed. So we will not remove it for now. I remember when I was doing this, I was also removing my columns and all that. At the end of the day, uh, you just have to make sure that you import their Excel sheet to fit yours. So even if I don't delete it, it will still work. So here you download this file. You download this file, and this file is MD Water Services data. You see the Water Services data, we already have one like this, named like this. But when you download this again, and you still have the MD Water Services in your downloads folder, it will add one to it. And so for me, when I downloaded it, it added one. So that is the extra one. So that is what I'm going to do. This is what they said we should do. We are not supposed to import it, okay? But when you import it, the relationship we have here will get destroyed, or we have to redo the whole thing. You see, when we started, we did some relationship, we tried to do some of them both direction and all that. So if that is the case, we don't want to destroy those things. So we want what the file they've brought, it also contains some of these tables or most of these tables, and the same columns, some of them, not all of them, some of them are off. Even if they are not off, they will also fit in it. So we will not import, rather we'll change the data source. So we come to home, then we go to transform. So in the transform ribbon, that is where you see data source. So this is what we are after. So we click on data source. You see that your data source has MD Water Services data. This one is the original one that you have. Mine is in the downloads folder, so you see the link like that. So you click on change source. So when you click on change source, this is what will happen. You come here and then click on browse. Then you look for the one you just downloaded from the downloads folder, and mine is the first one, this one, MD Water Services 1. So I click on it and click open. Then I click OK. So you see that now my link has changed, but this time around it is with a different name, with the one at the end. Then I close this. So now I can come and do close and apply. So you wait for it to finish loading everything. So you see that everything here is ending with 1111. So it means that data has been added to this one. Right. Good. So when you look at some of these data, let me click on this. You see this here. So okay, location is there, but you see location, the address is off. There is no address again. You see, they have removed the address, so we can remove it. Then, so they said that is what they said here. they said you can remove some of these things. So they said address, province, comment from project progress, date biological from well pollution, address from location, remove Q composition table. So all these things they are telling you to remove because they are empty or they are not needed. And when you look at the address column, there is nothing there. So I can remove it, click on it, right click, and then click on delete. Then click on yes. Right. Now let's check the others. Project progress it also has empty columns. The address, date of completion, comment, and all that. So all these ones, but date of completion has data in it, so please be careful so that you not delete some of these ones. Province is off. They say we should delete province. It is part of the instructions. So unless you are very convinced that this is empty, so you can click on this to see. If you click on the filter icon, you see that it will list everything inside this column. But then we have only blank, so we can delete it. Then when we come to date completion, you see that it contains data, so that shows that you cannot delete. This one doesn't contain anything, so I can delete. So it depends on you. You can delete them or leave them like that. So I think let me move on. If the need comes for us to delete some of them, we will do. Then the Q composition, you see that there's no data here. So we'll delete that data, that table completely. So we delete from model. Then we have visits, the visits table. It has hour of the day, these things we created them, we don't need them again. And then employee ID too is also empty. Yeah. So we can select them by pressing control. Sorry, we select the first one, press shift and select. I think this one doesn't work like Excel. Okay, okay, I'll come and select. I want to select all of them. Okay, no problem. Let's delete them one by one. So let's check the other ones too. Water source. Water source related crime, that one is off. And then we have well pollution. So well pollution, they said the everything here should also go off. So we can go to um, transform data here, the home tab, and then select this. Says water source related crime. So we can say we want to remove this table completely, and then water source real pollution. Okay, so here let's go and click on remove columns, remove uh okay, I haven't tried this before. I want to delete them at once. uh, Okay. What I wanted to achieve, I can't achieve it here. I wanted to delete all the columns at once, but let's do it. Okay, for here you can press Ctrl and select them, but in the data view, that one it doesn't work. But when you come to the Power Query, you're able to do that. So remove columns so that we have only these two. Right. Then we click on close and apply. Great. Nice. So now we have this data, this one. Everything is cool now. Right. So these are the things that they said you'll be noticing. So they've written something here. The things that you'll be noticing that has changed and all that. You will read them. I've read them already. So let's move on to this update will break the budget improvement cost column in the project progress. So let's move to project progress column, table, sorry, project progress table, and they said this one budget improvement. Okay, this project ID is having a cost of 4,200. They said it has broken it. We don't see it here. We see that there are some values there. As to whether it has broken it truly or not, we have to check it out. So that is project budget improvement cost. You see that we wrote the formula if project progress, the town name is what? Rural. But in this case, the town names has changed. Okay, it is not rural alone, but it contains some other things. Okay, so you see, it contains rural and then a province name. So instead of typing rural alone, we have to use wildcards and all that. So that is what they explain or they did here. They are saying that if it contains rural together with other checks. So if we can do it here by just adding the star, but it could be that we have some of them containing a name before rural or something like that. Let's see. Okay, I think everything starts with rural. Yeah. So I think the way that one will work is the same way when I do it this way by adding star to this. If I add star to this, let me see if it will work before. Good. So interesting. It didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't work. Okay. So um, we copy what they have. Okay. So I'm copying the contain string aspect. As for the rest, they are the same. So here I'll place it here. So that is replacing this particular one. So the project progress down should contain rural and other stuff. And so we press or we commit. and it has changed the whole thing. Yeah, it has taken effect. I don't know why the first one didn't take effect. I don't know whether the wildcard doesn't work with equal to sign or something. But then this is the formula they gave us, so we have to also use that. All right, so we are done with that part. Your calculated rural adjusted cost column in infrastructure may have different names than mine. We have this. We don't have a different name. We still have rural adjusted costs. Rural adjusted costs in infrastructure. It is there. Okay. There are also new columns. So these are the columns they are talking about. Date started, date of completion, cost, assigned vendor, and all that. So these ones are new columns that they've added, I think to the project progress also. Yeah. So we have assigned vendor, we have date started, cost, date completion. Okay, this one is not new, but assigned vendor and date started because they are there. All right. So let's move on. Make sure that all the data types are correct and dates are set to. So we are making sure that these things are correct. So this one is, it should be currency. This is currency, right? Right. And then the date should be date. This one, you see there is text here. So we change it to date. Sorry, you come here. We change it to date. We press yes. Then make sure that the date format is in, they said YYMMDD. That was what they asked us to do. They said the date format should be YYYMMMDD. Alright, so YYYMMDD. Right. So we have that. So I'll refresh my column. Great. And then, so this one too, let's check. That one too is not in date format, so let's change it to date format. Then we select this. Good. Say, and then cost. Cost should be currency. Let's select decimal. And then change this to currency. I think that should work. Alright. Then assigned vendor text is okay. I think from there everything is okay now. So let's check. These ones are all, they should all be okay now. Okay, phone number, visit is a phone number, time of record is a date. These ones they have already been done. Check everything to see that everything is okay. This should be a number. Because if these are not in their right format and we do some calculation with them, it won't work. It won't work. Alright, so I think everything is cool now. We are good to go. So finally check the relationship and directionalities. What should the water source to project progress relationship be? This one, water source to project progress. So let's look at water source. Let's go to the model view. water source and project progress. Where is water source? Yes. He said, what do you think their relationship should be? And their relationship is one to one because the water source contains only unique source IDs. It doesn't repeat anything. But the project progress contains that one too also contains unique IDs, but then the project progress contains some water sources and not all water sources. That is the reason why when we come here and then we go to water source, you see that the total number of rows is what 39,650. It is more than the project progress table. When I select project, it is 25,000. So these source IDs are some sources that are in your project progress. Remember that some of the water sources they don't need uh, uh, to be changed or to be how do I put it? They don't need to be worked on. Okay, some of the sources they are okay, like the tapping home, they are okay. So that is it. Okay, so tapping home is not listed in the project progress. You see, we see only river, shelter, tapping home, broken, and well. So these are the ones that they are going to do justice or they are going to solve its problem. As for tapping home, it is already solved, so it is not part of our project. You see, so that is the reason why the records in project progress is lesser than that of water source. So water source contains all the sources in Maji Ndogo, but the project progress contains the sources that has problems to be solved. So that is it. So if we are talking about the relationship, then they are one to one because each one is having an ID or one source. So we don't have one ID matching to different or different more than one ID in the project progress. So if you find one ID in project progress, that's all. You can't find multiple of them. If you find it in water source, you can't find multiple of them. So that is what we are talking about. So that is why it is one to one and it is bi-directional. So that when we search from water source to project progress or from project progress to water source, it will all work. So these may change when we import. So make sure these are correct and what we expect. Yeah, that is what we expect. Next up, vendors IDs are a little personal. So if you import the Excel file again, you will see a table called vendors. We won't use it, but here you can see who the heroes are on the ground, improving the lives of people. So these are vendors that we are talking about. When we import it, we didn't see vendors. So because we didn't import it as a fresh data, so it just looked at what we have here already and then replace them with what it has. So let's go to home, go to get data, go to Excel, and then come to this the data that we have. Open. Mind you, we are not importing, so just be careful here so that you not select everything. We are only after vendors. So we select vendors and then you see that vendors has it doesn't have header. So we transform it. Go to transform. Good. Then we use first row as our headers. Good. Then we do close and apply. Okay, so vendors has been added. So let's check our model if everything is correct. Yes, everything is still correct. So you see that vendors has been added here. All right. So the vendors are what they were talking about. He said you will see the heroes or those who are working on the field, or they are installing whatever they have to install. They are drilling, those who drill well, those who. So these are the vendor's ID, the company name, owner of that company, and then the company type. So you see the company type, we have civil infrastructure assessment team, we have water purification system and all that. So this is the table, right? So that is what they said here. Next up, vendor IDs are a little, okay, so we are done with this. Choose vendors only and import it into the data model. Make sure it imports correctly and you will see information like the company name, who owns it, and what they do. I've done that. So we have done that one. So these are the what they do. So let's check the data in project progress for each project. We for each project we now know if it is complete or still in the backlog. And once it is complete, we can see worked which team worked on it when the team started working on the project, when they completed it, and how much we paid them for the improvements. We have all of the data or all of the other data we had before. So we are going to make some amazing things. Now, let's think through the stuff. So let me open this for you to see. We have project progress, then this is the status. So some of them have complete or have been completed. Look at this. We have complete. So this is the source, and it is a tap in home broken. It has been completed, right? If it has been completed, it means that we now have another basic source. Okay, so these are the completed ones. So let's think through the stories a bit before we make the dashboard. We have two requests from Aziza. Please, something occurred to me. Let's go to the data model. The vendors must be linked to something. What do you think, or which table do you think it should be linked to? Let's look at the project progress. It has assigned vendor. Here is it. It has assigned vendor. Okay, so this is the vendor, and so the assigned vendor in project progress is an ID. So let me come here. You see assigned, where is it? Assigned here. So that is the ID for the vendor. And so we are going to use the vendors here to link it. So let's go to the model view and right click on this, go to manage relationship. We go to vendors, we select the vendor ID as our primary key, then project progress will have the assigned vendor as uh, the foreign key. Where is it? It's here. So this one is here. Remember that the assigned vendors, some of the sources don't have assigned vendors. So this is it. So that is one too many. Then I click on save so that it will be linked to project progress. Right, it has been linked now. All right, so as a member of the public, I want to see how the project is going. Very simply, which sources have been completed. So this is the one we looked at. So we'll look at that column, the column that contains backlog and complete and all that. how much money has been spent so far, where was the money spent, what the money was spent on, details about everything in my town. So all these things, we must capture them in our visuals, and all these things the decision maker, that one too is for. They have similarities. How much money has been spent so far? Where was the money spent? What the money was spent on? Will we have enough money to complete the project? Where can we cut costs? I want to see data at national, provincial, and town level. Their stories are quite similar, so we can build dashboard for both purposes and create detailed drill throughs for more specific content when we need it. So let's create a basic layout of our dashboard, then dive into what we need to calculate. So this is how I laid out mine. So this is the outline. You are supposed to draw the outline. Uh, so you're supposed to draw the outline like that. Now let's move on to, I hope you did something else. But did you notice my little orange rulers? I am not going to draw the outline again. Since we have it here, we just imagine this and then draw it on our dashboard. But if it is your project that you are doing, you have to draw your outline first before you can put all the visuals on it. So, okay. So the main visuals I want to build are a map that will show us how far along the project is. Users should be able to see visually how far the project is. Users should also be able to select any town or rural area and know immediately how the project is doing. A cost tracking visual. A KPI plot is a nice option that will show us how much we thought it would cost, how much it is really costing us. Break down the cost of projects so people can see where the money was spent. Summaries of key metrics, project progress, basic access to water, updated now that the new water sources are installed. How many people are affected by the changes? Remember, we are doing this for the citizens of Maji Ndogo. How far to go before the project is complete? We may add more, but this is my plan for now. Each of these visuals needs to be interactive at the national, provincial, and local levels, but also has to interact with the data over time. To make the new and improved map, you are going to need this shape map JSON file as our map. So we are going to download this. So I've downloaded mine already. So I'll go to the visuals, go to I select it so that the visuals pane will appear. Then come here, click on this. Then I'll go to this place, map settings, custom map. Then I'll remove what I have here already. So I'll select custom map again, then click on this. Then this is my downloaded map 4, so MD4 map. Then select it. Good. So I am done with my map. So our map is supposed to be somewhere in the middle. So I move my map to the middle somewhere. Okay, so that is our map. And so let's see. The town column in project progress is the column we use in the location well. So we are putting the town column in the location well. So town, we put it here, right? And then if you drag source status into color saturation well, you should see it light up. So we are dragging source status source status is in project progress. So this is source status. We put it here. And then remove province. Sorry. Okay. So this is how you should. So at first it was like this, right? Without anything, with the town name in the location well. So we put the source status in saturation, and this is how it look like. This now just shows us how many water sources there are in each location, not their actual status or how many are complete. So we need to create a measure to make this visual effective. We need the same data for the project progress metric too. So let's make a measure for it. The problem is that the measures we create this time need to interact with the location and date filters properly. The calculations are simple, but the filters are going to complicate things. To calculate the project progress, we need to calculate the number of people or the number of complete projects divided by all the projects. At national, so you see here it says we need to calculate what? The number of complete projects. And the complete projects are the one with this status, source status as what? Complete. Divided by all the projects. And all the projects are the count of the number of rows for the project or the project table. Any record on the project table or each record on the project table represents a project. Okay, so if you are talking about all the projects, we count the number of records in the project. So row by row, each of them form a part of the project. At a national level, it includes all of the projects in Maji Ndogo, but for Jenny, it will be the number of projects completed in Jenny divided by the number of projects Jenny in total. So we need to measure to always take into account the town filter. So this is the formula they gave us. So I'll copy it and then go to the project progress table. So we are going to create a measure. I can click on the three dots here and click on new measure. Good. So let me go to the table view so that I will see it. The new measure. Good. And then paste this here. So what this is doing is that it is counting the number of rows in project progress, and then it is uh, exempting town so that when there's any filter, it will for there's any outside filter, it will not affect the town. I think the all except the explanation always confuses me, but that is the formula they gave us. So I'll just commit it. Good. So we have total improvement. That represents the total improvement. That is projects, the number of projects, yeah, for each town if possible. But this is for all of them. But if you filter, it will show you for each town. Okay, let's unpack it together. So this is the explanation of all of them. So here they said all except this. This bit is telling Power BI to ignore all filters except for the ones in the town column. Okay, so it will ignore all filters except this. So no matter what other filters are applied elsewhere, the only one that will apply is the town column. So it will apply only the filter for town column in it, and then forget about any other filter. Adding a date slicer as a filter will create problems. When we change the date, the rows are filtered by the date, which means we don't get the total number of projects. What we get is the total number of projects in the project progress table. But if we select a town, it calculates all of the improvements in that town. You get it? So it is not going to give you only the total number of projects in the project progress table, but then because of the all except town, the filter for all projects will not apply. So it will only apply to when I select town, then it will give you the total number of town. I don't know, but that is how I am understanding it. Next up, the number completed projects. What is the most reliable way to know whether a project is complete? Well, we can count the number of rows that satisfy the condition for a project being complete. You should get a number of 29. So we know that if a project is complete, then the source status should be what? Should be complete. So we count all the completes. So if we are to do that, let's try and then do something like that. They said it should be called what? Number completed project. Okay, so number completed project. So this one should count. So we are going to count when it is complete. So I'll use the count X, and then I'll go to the project progress table, and then the expression is where the source status is equal to complete. Don't know whether this one will work. Let's see it in our card view. So let me select a card and then bring in number completed. Sorry. Okay, so that one is not working. So I'll edit it. So let's use calculate. Let me use calculate. All right. Okay. So calculate will take project progress. Okay. That is the expression. Sorry. So that will be count. So we are counting the column source status before we come to the filter. So let's close that, the bracket count, and then comma the filter. So we are filtering the project progress table. So the filter expression is where the source status is equal to complete. I think this one should work. So we close the filter function, then we close the calculate, then we commit. So let's see if it worked. Yeah, it worked. So after that, you see that you have the 29 that they were talking about. So you should get number 29. Now that we have that, go ahead and calculate the percentage project complete. This is the number of projects complete. So how do we calculate the percentage? It will be as they said. I think they said it somewhere here. So what we are going to do is that if we want the percentage of the project complete. You see, when you do exams and then you get 7, or let's say 5%, that is, you got 5 correct out of the 100, and that is the percentage, 5%. So that is 5 over the total. So if we are going to calculate the percentage for the project complete, then we should take the number 25. So the one we have completed or we had correct, if I should compare that to writing exams. So the 29 is the completed one divided by the uncompleted, all not uncompleted, crap, all the total projects that we are talking about. So 29 over the total will give you the percentage. 29 over the total is going to give you in decimals. Then when we change it to percentage, we multiply by what? 100. So for instance, if you are doing a class test and your teacher say you got 10 over 40. Now the 10 over 40 can be converted to what? Percentage. So it will be 10 over 40 times 100. Okay, right. So this one will be 29 over the project, the total project. Then after that, we go and change it in percentage. This time we are not going to multiply it by the 100, but we'll ask Power BI to change that decimal into what? Percentage, and it will convert for us. So now that we have that, go ahead and calculate the percentage. So we are going to calculate the percentage by adding measure. So I click here, the measure. All right. I don't know why my measure doesn't appear here. Okay, let me delete this measure. So let me add it to the project progress. So we are talking about percentage project complete. Project complete. Is it project complete? Yeah. So percentage project complete. So equals, then we are going to take the 29, which is this one, or is it? Number completed projects. All right. Divided by total completed projects. I think total projects will be the count of all the projects, and that will be count count of count of hold on, the one that we just did, what is the name given to it? Total improvement, right? So we use the total improvements. They didn't name it total project, so total improvement, yeah. So this should be it, right? Then we commit it. So percentage project complete. Let's go to the visuals and add a card to confirm. Let's put this one somewhere. So I want to add a card. So select an empty space before you can add the card. And then I'll add percentage project complete here. You see 00. Then I go here and then go to data format and then format it in what? Percentage. You see, so this is the percentage, but they don't want it like that. They want it to be in one 0 decimal places, so something like this. So at the end of the day, they said your value should be 0% at the start on the national level, but Serowi, for example, is 1% done. So for us to test if it is correct, because this is zero, so you will not even know whether you are correct or not. So this says you should select Serori and see. Here is Serori. When you click on it, you see you've got 1%, right? Yeah, 1%. Check that your values are the same as mine and add them to the dashboard as cars. So we have it. I added another metric there, more sources to go. You can calculate that one on your own. So more sources to go is more project to complete. So if we are talking about more project to complete, that will be the total number of projects minus the number of completed projects. Okay, and that is the number of projects that we need to complete. And that one they didn't add it to the dashboard, so I won't really look at, but you can test it, you can do it and see. So I'll add a card. Let me first of all add a visual measure. So adding a measure, don't know why the measure is always added to infrastructure. I want to add it today. So I'll select this. Right. So that I can now say that more to go. They said more to go. We will have the number completed projects. So we have the total one minus the number completed. So the total will be total improvement minus the number completed projects. All right. I think that should be it. These are calculations, so sometimes you may have other ways of doing it. More to go. So 25k. You see? So we have 25k more to go. This is number completed and 25k more to go. Or we can strike this in percentage. Okay, so the whole thing divided by come here, the whole thing divided by the total improvement, right? So it will be like this. Let me do the whole thing divided by total improvements. So what is left divided by the total improvement? What we have completed divided by the total improvement gave us the percentage for the one we have completed. And what is left to complete will be when I subtract the one I've finished from the total. The rest is what I haven't finished, all divided by the total improvement, and that will give us the percentage for that. So I commit that, come here, and you see something like this. Then I'll change it to percentage. So data formats to percentage. That is giving me this. So that is 99 points, whatever, more to go. So let me also leave that one in one decimal place. Zero, sorry. So 100% to go, 0% complete, 100% to go. All right, so I will put them here. We are not going to, not all the cars are going to be used. We are just looking at what we are doing if we are correct. Now we also have good metric to show progress on the map. So use percentage project complete as the color saturation variable. Since we used percentages, the visual will scale better, so the colors are now more informative than before. So what we are going to do is that instead of using where is it? Instead of using source status, we are going to use percentage project complete here, and that shows us the towns. Okay, yeah, so the towns and the percentage of completed projects. So you see that in our case, Serori is getting more of the project completed uh, than the rest. Okay, the gray ones doesn't seem like there are places where projects were going to be completed or what. I don't know. Okay, so that is what we got, and that is this one, this map. Yes, and then towns like Zuri, Mirembo, and Isikalo are gray in mine. What does that represent? Then there are colored towns in mine. What do these colors represent? Hover your mouse over them. Also add some information like number completed projects in tooltips to make it more informative. So we add number of projects completed to tooltips so that when you hover over them, you see the number of completed projects. In Celery is only one, in Hawassa it's only one. So the uncompleted one, more to go. The uncompleted ones, I think we didn't do that. So let me try and then add that measure and see. This one is on my own analysis to see something. Yeah, so that some of these things it helps you learn. Uh, Let me add it to the project progress. All right. So okay. So measure. So we write. Um, we have something like uncompleted number uncompleted. Then you have the total improvements minus number completed, and then we commit. So I want to check that. So number of uncompleted. Let's see if we add it to the source, the tooltips. So let me add number. Is it number uncompleted? Is here. Okay. Oh, sorry. Where is supposed to be percentage project. Okay. Project complete. Let me add the number uncompleted to the tooltips rather. So when I come here, I'll see that in Serui we have that. In Serui we have 100. It should be 100. The total should be 129 projects. Let me add the total to it and see. Um, Total improvement. Where is it? Good. So in Saraway alone, we have 129 of them, and we have completed one. We have 128 uncompleted, and that represents 0.01%. Okay, 0.01%. When we come to Young Day, 217, we have done two we have done 1 and it's left with what, 216. When you come to this side, I think this particular one, Lusaka. So we can even look at the province. So the province is Hawassa. We've done only 1 in the whole of Hawassa. So I think that one is the one. Wait. Okay. Okay. All right. Don't worry. So I think if we need to tweak some of them, we have to do it ourselves. But for now, let's just follow. I wanted to test some things, but I realized that maybe we'll do more than necessary. So let's continue. Um, Next up, we calculate a basic access to water numbers. We did something like this last week, but now we need to do it in a way that includes the new water sources. Rivers were replaced by wells. Wells are cleaned once they are complete. So these citizens now have basic access to water from an improved water source. So basic access to water will be this. So the improved one will now be added to the already basic water access that we have done. So the improved one is, um, so this is the total population. We want the total population. So the population improved is going to be those with water access now. That is um, number improved. Okay, so this one, let me open the project. We see is fill in the blanks to calculate the total population, right? So we are just looking at the total population. So population with basic access. Then let me open it. Population with basic access. So I'll add a measure. Let me go to water source and add that measure because we are talking about the population so that it will look more organized. Good. So we paste what we have in here. So we are having a total population. This total population is going to look at those with basic as a sum of people, and then it's going to look at only keep town as what filter. Okay, so this one is not looking at this. I thought it's so if you want sum of people, it means they are filtering with town. So if they are filtering with town, they want us to do it in such a way that when you select town, to give you the population for the town. So we filter all except town, right? Then we 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 do sum. So this will be sum of number of people saved. Number of people saved, share. So we are summing the number of people saved. That should give you the total population for Maji Ndogo, right? But then if you say all except, we are filtering for only towns. So when you click on a town, it can give you its total population. So I'll commit it. At first, I thought they were talking about the basic access. So you should get 28 million for the population of Maji Ndogo. So let's test it out by going to the visual, add a card view. So I'll select this so that visualization will appear and then click on anywhere empty and then select a card. Then come in, where is my total population? Good. So it's water source. That is 28 million. So that is what they are talking about. And 3 million for the population of Kilmani. So when we go and then select Kilmani, it should give you what they are. So this is Kilmani. When I select, it gives me 4 million. Is that okay? So basically, we are supposed to get population. Okay, so let me check my formula again. No, that should be it. This is Hawassa, Sokoto, Sokoto 4 million, 5 million, Kimani 4 million. Okay, so the total population that we're supposed to get, I I put in some of number of. All right. So I'll remove that. I'll copy this. I think I copied this. Let me see. Copy this and then I'll paste it here. Okay, so total population is going to be based on when a town is selected, and then it will sum the number of um, sorry, it will sum the number of people served, people served, and then that will be a sum function. So I think that should work. Right. So when we come here, we we are supposed to. I'm wondering why this thing doesn't come up. Why can't I have the formula appear? Okay. Total population is that. I'm wondering why it is giving me that answer. Right. So I can see that there's a problem because when I select this, it's formula. It means we are adding something that we are not supposed to add. Looking at this, you can see that some of them are grayed out. So I think they were counting for this province without these ones or something like these ones. So, but the problem is that location shouldn't be the town name shouldn't come from the location. It should come from because we are talking about the project. So let's talk about the towns. Okay, that the project is going on in. So that is what should be here rather. So that when we select this, we'll get the 3 million. When we select this, we get that, this, and that. Right. So that is how the thing should be like. All right. So let's move on. All right. So here now we calculate population with basic access. Last time we used a column to classify sources as basic or not, then added the rows. Since our dashboard is slowing down, let's use some dark magic to put it into a measure all in one go. This way, Power BI doesn't have to store all of these strings in the table, so it calculates faster, it takes up less space. Since we did it last time, I'll give you all the code you need to do it. So this is what we did the last time to get basic access, but that one was in column. We did it in column. So when you come here, we have water source. So this one, that is what they are talking about. But this time around, we want to put it in a measure so that it will not be putting it in this table or in a column form. So we paste it and then I think that is it. So I'm removing all the comments. I want to remove all the comments. Hold on. Okay. So remove all the comments. Right. So that these errors will also go away. But then, good. So this is also a comment. Remove it. And this is also a comment. I think so far so good. Right. So we are summing. Let me indent this so that it looks summing and filtering all of this. And then the whole statement. Okay. Then this all is inside the other or, and then this end is inside the or statement, and the next one is in this. Okay, so this one is here. Great. And then this is closing this end, and then this is in this or. So you see what is happening is that we are summing the number of people saved. Then we filter the water source. This first or, you let me put them in order first. Okay, so this should be this is in this or this. Okay, so I will put this one here. Yeah, no, okay, and then this or this. Okay, okay, all right, great. So this is how it's like. This will filter the water source, and then the first O covers everything inside this. So these are all inside this OR statement. So this OR statement contains all this. So why OR? We are saying that this statement, okay, um, sorry, this statement rather. So this one first, I want to. So this OR is separating this from this. Okay, so we are saying this or this. Okay, so this the end statement here. So water source should be share tap and it should be less than 30 minutes, or we should have whatever statement is in this statement. And in this statement we have another or. So we are saying there should be, so this or the second or fix this or this. Okay, so we are saying the end statement says it should be well water or clean. So it will be well water and also clean at the same time for us to say that it is true. Then we also say or it is tapping home for us to say it is basic. So this is well water or clean and clean, sorry, or when it is tapping home, we also say they are basic. Or the whole thing, if it is not true, or whether it is true or not, this is also another statement. So this whole thing, or when it is what share tap and less than 30 minutes. So that is it. Um, this is average time, average queue time, and that is in water source. Water source, we don't have average time in queue, not average queue time. So average time in queue, right? So I have this, and then I commit. So I have population with basic access. This is the population with basic access. So this thing can be deleted, can be removed. Okay, but let it be there. We have population with basic access now, right? Much more complex than last time, right? But this is a bit more efficient. Power BI does tend to slow down as project progresses, so we need to clean up now and again. And this measure avoids creating a column full of data. Here we basically calculate the sum of people who use sources that fulfill the conditions of basic water. Next up, we need to calculate the number of people who now have access, basic access. Once their source is improved, how would we calculate it? The worst thing is how nested the conditions become. Calculate the number of people who will have access to basic water once the water source is improved. So we should calculate the number of people who will have basic water access. Okay, once the water source is improved, as population now basic access. So when we improve it, where does it show that it has been improved? That is at the complete column where we have what's the name? We have status, something status, source status. So this one. So let me select the project so that you see it. So in this column, we are talking about the one that contains backlog and complete. So when it says complete, we know that we are done with that project. Okay, so that is how we can know that and put it in what population now basically we count them. So make sure that the column you use to filter with will accurately show if a source is improved or not. So the column we are using is the status uh, column. You should get 10,760 people who now have access to basic water, excluding everyone who already had basic access. You see, we have those who have basic access already. Then we now have the one, so the ones with basic access, they are the ones that I think we just found. Population with basic access, this one. So this one, they are looking into whether it is well water and clean. That means it has been improved. If it is a tap in home, it is already improved. And if it is a shared tap in less than 10 minutes, then 30 minutes, then it is also improved. All right. But then we want to see the new data that will be added when we finish the project. They will indicate that it is complete or it is not complete. So we are going to add, so that one is inside this, the project progress. So I'll try and then add my measure there. So I'm going to find the sum. So sorry. Where is the measure? Okay, good. So I'll say population now basic. Population now basic. So population now basic is going to see if it is complete and then add the number of people saved. Okay, so we are going to filter if it is complete. If it is complete, we add the people saved. So let me try and use calculate first and see if that one will work. No, let me use sum. So sum x, because that one also contains condition. Then I'll go into my project progress. Then I can add my condition if what are we looking for? If the source status equals complete, then what do? Then we sum the number of people saved from the water source table. So water source table, sorry. So it will be related. So let's use related number of people saved. Great. Then we close that, and then we close the if statement. No, not that. So we this is water number of people saved. Then if this is true, it is complete. We are going to put this number of people saved out there. We will push it to what the function means. So this function will now take that answer and sum it. So if not, then let's leave it blank. So it will add blank to whatever it has. So if we have the sum of 3 people, when we add blank, blank is 0, so it won't affect it. So it will just be the same thing. So I'll commit this. All right. So after committing, did they say anything else? Right. We are supposed to get 10,760. So if we are supposed to get 10,760, then let's test it out. So I'll come and click card and then add that one. So we called it population now basic. That is this. Great. So I have level key. They also said 10, 10 something, 10,760. So we don't know whether it has been rounded off. So let's go and reduce or remove the units, so to none. So now you see that it is 10,760. So we are on track so far, so good. All right. So right now I am not arranging my things well, but I want to follow the instructions. Then after that, I'll arrange them very well. Calculate the number of people that will have access to basic water once all the improvements are complete. So once all the improvements are complete, we should calculate the number of people that will have basic access, including those that had access already. All right. So we are going to so from there they said PCT population now basic access, and remember to format it. Okay, let me read this again. Calculate the number of people that will have access to basic water once all the improvements are complete, including those that had access already. Okay, PCT population now basic access, and remember to format it to a percentage. It should be 34% at the start. So what they are asking us is to find those number of people who have access to basic water at the end of the project, plus those who have access to basic water, right? So we are going to add, so they gave us a formula here. We are going to add population with basic access plus population of improved. Okay, the population with basic access, they are already there. They are the ones that we tested for whether it is the well, and then it's clean, whatever. So those ones are already on the table. But we will add the population of improved. That is the one that contains the complete, and then we will divide by the total population. So let's do that by adding basic access. So since we are talking about access to water, let me add it to the source. Let me add the measure to the source. Then we label it basic access to water. So basic access to water, right? Then we are saying that the formula says we should add population with basic access plus population improved. So the one with basic access plus population now basic. Okay, so the one that has been improved, and then we, after adding them, we divide them by total population. So I will divide all of them. I put brackets around them. Divide by total population. All right, then I commit. Right, so let's look at that one too. I don't know if they said anything about it later, but they said we should get 34% at the start. Okay, so let's add a card once more. So let's add a card and then look for that. That one is a basic access to water, right? Great. So we change it to percentage. You go to general data format, then change it to percentage. Right. So let's reduce the number of decimal places to 0. So this is what they said we should get, 34% at the start. But do you know something? They said we should do what? When we select Serowi in Hawassa, you should get what? 57% access. But in our case, Serowi is here. So when I hover on it, you see the town name. When I click on it, this doesn't look good. All right. This doesn't look good. But then that is what we are going to get. I don't know what happened or what made this thing like this. Maybe there's some calculations that we were asked to do that didn't go well. But then that was the answer it was given. But no worries, because at the end of the day, it will all come together and work. All right. So let's continue like that. Great. Now let's jump into cost. The main thing we need to know about our finances is how much we have spent so far and whether we have spent more than we want to. Our budget from last time is our target, and ideally, we want to spend less than the budget. The KPI visual is an excellent tool to visualize this, since it will track our progress over time. For this visual to work well, we need a date slicer so we can select dates between some dates. Add a date slicer to the visual. So I'll add a date slicer to the visual. So this is the slicer. Good. Then I'll add date from the project progress. Let's add the date completed. So today, well, good. This is what I got. I think mine, I have done the settings already, but if yours is not showing like this, you go to this, the slicer settings, um, wait, I think slicer settings, and then you click on the arrow here, and then you select okay between, right? So that is what will give you this effect. So I'll remove the header, slicer header. Good. And then place it there like that. Let it be there. For this visual, we need to calculate two measures: the running cost, cumulative cost, and running budget, cumulative budget. These numbers should sum up all the budget cost and real cost up to date, respectively. For example, if you paid vendors, blah, 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 blah. So let's continue with the cost, cumulative cost, and so we have cumulative cost here. We have cost here, sorry. And then we have budgets, improvement costs. And they are saying that if you should be able to run them cumulatively. So I think it is the same as summing all of them. So I'll add the budget cost to the, like I'll add measure called cumulative cost. Cumulative cost. So cumulative cost will be the sum of what? The cost. Right. The sum of the cost. I don't know if I'm right about this, although I've done it before, but sometimes what you have done before, when you try it again, you may get it wrong. So cumulative cost is here. I've added a card to confirm. So I have 131 whatever. So let me remove the units so that I'll see the real value. So this is the value 131914. Is that what they said we will get? So our calculation for cumulative budgets should sum up all the budget costs for projects with completion dates less or equal to the current date. Banks are going to be a pain. Blanks are going to be a pain when we compare dates. So we need to remove them in the DAX. Try to create this measure on your own first. You should get a number of 128,450 for the data we currently have. This one is for the budget. So let's do the budget. This one is cumulative cost. Let's add the cumulative budget too. And after that, we will compare and see. So I will select, I want all of them to come into project progress. Okay, so I will have cumulative budget should be equal to the sum of the budget. So where is the budget? So this is the budget improvement cost. So they are saying that this one we should take care of is it the blanks or something? So let's test it out and see. Cumulative budget is here. Put it here. Am I getting what they said I should get? So this is the sum of the whole budget. But then they are saying we should get this. So they said we should try it on our own first, but they gave us the formula. So theirs is taking care of the dates, okay, making sure that the dates will give us the budget between those dates, right? So let's use the formula. Okay, so cumulative budget I copied, and then I'll come to what I have, click on it, and then come and put it here, paste it. So what are we doing? We are summing project progress, then what is it? The budget improvement cost is the column name. So project progress, budget improvement cost is the column name. Then we filter what? What are we filtering? We are filtering the dates, okay, date of completion, and then we are looking at the date of completion of the current row, okay, and comparing it with the maximum date of completion in the whole rows or in the in the column, okay. So we are looking at the maximum date there and comparing it to the current date, okay, current row, okay. So if the current row date is, let's say, 1st January 2023, it should be less or equal to the maximum in the whole column. We have so many dates in the column, So that date should be less than or equal to, and we are checking for blank. So we are checking if that uh, column is blank. So that is the date of completion. We make sure that it is not blank. So not will be here. So not is blank. This whole thing means is blank. Okay, this whole thing means is blank. So is blank this. Okay, so this is telling us that if this is blank, something should happen. So if this is blank, it will return true. If it is not blank, it will return false. So we are saying that if it is blank, then it should not be that blank. So if it is true, we say not true. Okay, so it should not be blank. All right, it should not be blank. That is the meaning. Then I'll delete the comment here, and then I'll commit. Right, so cumulative cost has been updated here. So let's move to this place and then remove the unit and see if you are right. So none. 128450. Yes, so I think that is what we got here. Yes, so we should leave it in a currency form. So I'll go to general data format and then change it to currency. Right, so this looks nice. So this is the cumulative cost too. Right, let's move on. So I think that is what they gave us here. To calculate cumulative cost, we can simply copy and paste the budget and change the columns to use the correct data. You should get an amount of this. So our formula for cumulative cost will change. So let's come and copy what we have here, the budgets. So I've copied this, and I'll come and paste it in the cumulative costs. We are going to use the same procedure, but this time around it should be called what? Cumulative cost. So I'll paste the formula here. Sorry, it's not coming. Let me go and copy it again. So let me copy up to this point. Okay, then come to this one and then paste it here. Great. So cumulative cost, the same thing here. But we are not summing the budgets, but rather the costs. So instead of budgets, we use costs. So cost is here, right? Then we commit. So it should give us the same answer. Great. So with that done, let's move on. To set it up, create a KPI visual and drag the cumulative cost into the value well. So let's create a KPI. So make sure that your visual is here. Make sure that you haven't selected anything here. And then look for KPI. I think this is KPI. So I select it. Now they are telling us to do something. Drag the cumulative cost into the value well. Cumulative budget into the target well. So we will drag cumulative cost into the value well. That is what we are, the cost we are incurring. Then this one, the budget one, into the target. That is our target. Right. Then what again? And project progress date of completion into the trend axis well. So in the trend axis, we'll put the dates. That is date completed here. Right. Good. Once these are set up, you see a visual like this. So ours is not showing the visual like that. Okay. This is not showing a visual like that. So let's see something. This format is not quite correct, so we have to change some of the settings. First, you will notice that the goal is, I don't know where they got this from, the 98.70, and we spent 131 this. So if you see 98k and 131, although the 131 is bigger than 98, but on our KPI we had 128 and 131. Okay, so we have spent more than we budgeted for, but the KPI is interpreting this as good, a good thing with a correct tick mark. So that is what we have, a good thing with a correct tick mark. Okay, and that is not what we want. To change this, change the trend axis to low is good. So here we are going to the trend axis. So we go here, trend axis, then come to this place, low is good, then you select. So this is what we are getting. Nice. Right. Next, change the target label to budget. So if you change the target label to budget. So let's change this to budget. Great. So we have the KPI ready. So I would want to, I don't know, okay, let the KPI be like that. Now the visual communicates a bunch of things: trend of the overall cost over time, how much money we have spent, how much money we wanted to spend, with colors and icons clearly show whether we have overspent, budget deficit, or if we spend less, budget surplus. Add metrics like people helped, population now basic. So we are going to add this, population now basic, people helped. So let's add that one. Population now basic, we have it already, so no need to go and calculate anything. So population now basic is here, we put it here. Then we label it people helped. All right, so let me do people helped. All right, good. So 11k people helped. All right. Number of sources to still improve, which is total improvement minus number of completed projects. So number of sources still to improve. Let's put this one here. So let's see. It says, so let's go and calculate that one. So I'll add a measure to the same project progress. So it says we should do what? Number of sources to still improve. Okay. So number, I think that one we have done it. I did something like that. Let me look out for that. Oh, okay. Okay. I've seen that. That one is in percentage. The more to go is in percentage. Right. So I can copy that. I can copy that total improvement minus number completed projects, because that's what we have. Total improvements minus number of completed projects. Yeah. So let's write that measure. So that is the number of sources to improve. Okay. Number of sources to improve. Right. So this is the number of sources to improve. So I will have number of sources to improve here. Right. So the number of sources is 25k. Then it says, and use the aggregated improvement column from last time to break down cost per improvement. Cost per improvement. All right. Cost per improvement is going to be something like a, oh sorry, cost per improvement is going to be something like a bar chart or something, because we will have improvement here, and then the costs. Yeah, something like this. Something like this. All right, let's continue. So we are arranging things like this. Update your dashboard to have all of the visuals and slides I made. Make sure to format all values, titles, and labels that are displayed, unlike mine. Okay. So let's put our population, PCT population now basic. Okay. PCT population now basic. Where are you? Okay, so this is it. Basic access to water. That is what they labeled PCT population now basic. Percentage population now basic. Oh, this one is not it. No, that is it. That is the 34. Yeah, that is what they named like that. So I'll place that one somewhere here. So I'll delete this one since it is not part. Then I'll place the 34 somewhere here. I'll resize it nicely like this. Okay. Then we have what? 11k helped. So these people will come. Let me move these ones out. So this one will come here. I'll align it. Move it a little. Okay. Then I'll have my cumulative cost and cumulative budget. So this is the KPI. So let me reduce this a little. Good. Then I'll place my KPI somewhere here. So let me reduce the background. I want the background to come and be here. Then I'll have my KPI, so I should have another background. So I'll copy and paste. Bring this one down here. Okay. Okay. So let it look like this, and then place this one on it. Okay. Then spread it out. Then I'll go and then change its I think decimal places. I'm going to change in decimal places. Call out value, and then 2 0. No, that one is budget, so it should be in 2 decimal places. I'm talking about the format. The format. It should be a currency, right? And then okay, I think the decimal places will be here rather. So let's remove this display unit none, right? So that to display the exact amount for us. And then we have percentage project complete. Percent project complete, and then sources to go. So I think sources to go is here, somewhere here. Number of sources to improve. Is that it? So I'll place that one here. Okay, so this thing should go back. So I select it, go to formats, and then I'll send it back. So I'll move my slicer up and try to place this one correctly. So I have my whatever to go, but they labeled it differently. They give us instructions and then they label there. So sources to go or number of sources to improve. So let me also label it that way. Sources to go. This one is so to go. All right, then let me remove the unit. Let me remove the units. None. So these are the number of sources to go. And then we'll have percentage project complete. This is it. And then I'll have what? Alright, so they are part of this. This one. Okay, so this one will be placed here. Oh, looks smaller. Okay, let me place them here. All right, and then we'll place, so we have some graphs there. Okay, so this one is not part, so I'll delete it. This one is also not part. This one, okay. So so total population, then I'll have my graph here. Okay, so let me use a different, so this is how it should look like. So this one should look like this, and I'll pull it down here. Okay, then this one, total population, should be somewhere here. And then this one should be somewhere. I don't know if there will be some. I think, yeah, we'll add more to it. So let's leave it like this for now. Let's leave it like this for now. I'll place it somewhere. All right. And let me place this somewhere here. Good. All right, so let's move on. I think we have province name here, so we should have a slicer like that. So we should have a slicer with the province name. So I'll select slicer, and then I'll get the provinces. All right. Then I'll go to their settings, slicer settings, and then put it to, or select tile. Right. So I'll expand it a little, put this one there, and I don't know where to put it. Okay, let me try and put it somewhere up here. So let me remove the province name, that is the title. Slicer header, yeah, so I've removed it. Then I'll place it. Good. Okay, we are still on this, so let's not waste more time on that. So let's recap if we achieved the user stories. So we achieved how far is the project, how far is the project. So that is the sources to go, and then yeah, so sources to go, that is how far the project has gone. Then percentage project complete, so this shows it. And then how much money has been spent so far. So far, how much money, cumulative budget is here. And then where was the money spent? So I think where was the money spent are shown here in the blue ones, the one that looks a little bit blue. Okay. All right. Then what the money was spent on. So I think this is what the money was spent on here so far. We have install RO filter, diagnose, whatever. So these are the ones so far the money was spent on, right? Where can we cut costs? That one we don't have it. So that is why we have. I want to see the data at the national, provincial, and town level. So data at the national, provincial, and town level. Interesting. Um, so okay. Okay, so this is for the national level. So you can do copies and do it in the provincial level. So yes, I think so. So that one, it will depend on you. We do the national, provincial, and town level. I don't know how the town level will look like, but then I think it should be one page where when you select the provincial, it will give you the list for the towns, and you select the town so that you will know about the towns too. Other than that, the towns are many. You cannot create each page or one page, different pages for a town, the towns. Yes, so you should be able to do that. I think creating for the provincial level, you have the map, right? You should also have this percentage population now basic. You should have the number of people helped, and you should have the. I think these are all important, equally important, but then they will be in order. So let me try and then do something like that for you to see. So I'll duplicate this, and then I'll go here and select province and place it in filters on this page, not on all pages. So I'll select Akachi, right? So I think it shows here. So you can bolden this. Let me see. Let me select it first. You can bolden it so that the values good. I can bold it. I can increase font size. I think this is cool. Let me do it 50. 50 is not, it's not working. Okay, I think that's how it wants to stay. Let's change the color to our theme color. Right, something like this is okay. We can remove the border. Let me see if I can remove something like that. Effects, visual border. It's already off. I think that's how it is. But if you have any tweaks to you, like the ones that you can do, you do it. All right. So we have Akachi, and then this is the total population. Okay. I think this one should leave. Sources to grow will show us. So let me place this one rather here. Okay. Great. I think this is cool. This is cool. Very cool. So this is at the provincial level. Akachi. So you label it Akachi. So you can add some extra details since it is at the provincial level. You can add some extra details like the town names. So you can add something like a filter so that you can see the town according to the the province. So let me select a town. Let me select slicer and add the town name. I think this is okay. Then I'll select slicer. I will select. I think drop down will do. So that you can place it somewhere. Yeah, you are the designer, so design yours. I am just showing you how to do it, but you can design your own, right? So that it won't be like you are copying verbatim. So I can select the town from here. So you see the towns are all inside Akati. So you see it is showing on the map. All these towns are inside Akati, right? So that when we go to the next and we select, so let me see, let me pull this thing down a little. So this percentage, I've told you it's not correct. It's something that I don't know. Maybe one of the days I'll look through it very well. Maybe myself I can work it out. Because what they gave us is what we used, and it is giving us that percentage. Okay, right. So if I do it this way, I think it's okay. It's okay. You to do your own. I think this is what I can do so far. So if you want to remove it, you just select it again, and that's all. It will come to this is for Akachi. So now that you are done with Akachi, I think so far they are in a comfortable lead. So far so good. So you can add the others. So I can duplicate this. Now that I've done for one, I can do for the others easily. So I just select Amanzi instead of Akachi. Good. Then that is Amanzi. So this is all for Amanzi. And the towns will be for Amanzi. Okay. Make sure that you don't go and select the town name for location. No, that is not what we need. We want the one in the project progress. Okay. So we name it Amanzi. So do that for the rest. So far I've done two. So do that for the rest. You just duplicate and then you go and change it, the filter. I think that is so far so good. So you see, it's okay that we could not finish 6. We don't know where we can cut costs before the project starts. So let's wait for some data to come in and we can try to help decision makers with this once we know more. Then take a few minutes to clean up all the titles, text, and tooltips. Make sure your spacing is correct. Remove your rulers and get ready to launch this dashboard. So they want us to rearrange everything nicely. Hello, it has been a while. After a year of upgrades, we have an update on our data and now you will see the power of dashboard. So let's get it going. Here is the new data. So this is the new data they want us to look at. Now here's a visual I made to show how this was. So here you can watch it. Watch it and how they were moving how those people who were upgrading the sources were moving. You showed a visual. And here, when you download this, you see the same name, MD Water Services. So this will be labeled as number 2. In your case, if it is not labeled number 2, please use it as you know, like the name that you know it has been labeled with. So in my case, it is labeled MD Water Services 2. So I won't import. So let me go to national so that you see what is there first before let me place this one here. Let me place it here. I want a place to put this. Okay, I remember I removed this so that I'll place this here. Right. So let's go on. So we will not get the data. We will rather change the source. So we come to transform data. We click on the arrow here. Then we select data source settings. Then ours is 1. So we are going to choose 2. So if you like, you can save this project. So you can save this project, give it a different name, maybe module 4, project 4, version 1. Okay, you can label it like that. Then now this one you come to this project again. So this one you will go save as and then save it version 1. Then you come and open module 4, project 4 again. Then this time around you come to data source because we want to have a copy of what we have done for this first one. So we go to change source, then browse, then we choose the second one. So this is the second download. Okay, look at what will happen when we finish. All right, so now that we have done that, it is telling us that there are pending changes. So I apply. So check the screen. Yeah, my Power BI is slowing down because I've added more of the visuals that is for the provinces. Let me close it. Good. So it has been imported, or it has changed the source. So you see, now it says 4 million people helped. We have 48%. You get it? 22% project complete. Look at this. So because it is increasing, you see that there are some installations and all that. Good. 19910 sources to go. So when you come to Akachi, you see what is happening in Akachi too. So 20%. Come to Amanzi. Amanzi, you have percentage population now basic 59%. This is Amanzi. You see the location is showing clearly. 25% project complete. 5 million in total population in Amanzi. We have 2,790 resources to go, and this is the cumulative budget. This is so far the budget they've used, okay, and this is the cost, all right. And then this is, sorry, hold on, let me select this and see something. Okay, this is cumulative budget, so it is not the cumulative cost. I don't know whether I should change it to cumulative costs. Cumulative cost is where is it? Yeah, I think that one makes sense. So this is the cumulative cost. So far, this is the amount. So it is already here. So that is why they didn't add it. So we can add something else somewhere here. But then you should know that after importing, your data will change like this. Now override the last Excel with this one. So this one, we have done it already. Once you are all done, head back to your visual and be prepared. Your data slider expanded. Now look at this. Our slider, at first it was only 2 dates. If you checked the previous one, it was only 2 dates that was showing in your data. So when you go to your data like this, the dates, the date of completion was 2, but this time around, when you select it, you see that there are plenty here. So it has expanded that. All right. So when you slide it, you see that your data will change accordingly. So this is from 15th February 2023 to 3rd January 2024. So look at it. So you see, the lesser the date between them, the more sources, and then this project complete is less. So when you increase it, you will see that it is also increasing. Because as the days go by, they will be doing more work, and the project will be completing small. Right. So everything is updated. So let's see what happened last year. We started at 34% assets at the start, up to 48% now. So the one I showed you was 48% now. Okay, right. That is massive, right? The project is 22% complete, and that one too shows here 22% complete. So we still have a long way to go. It means we have about 80, about 78 to go. If we got this far in 1 year, it will probably take 5 years in total. Okay. The bad news is money. If you look at the KPI plot, we can see we are about 10% over budget at the moment. So over 10% over budget. So here, see that minus 10.69% over budget, because we have spent more than our budget. So 33 million. Meanwhile, our budget was 30 million. So we have spent over 10%. So let's look around and try to understand. If you look at the different provinces, we can see that Sokoto has taken a large part of the budget. So if we check with the different provinces, so this one is for the whole Maji Ndogo. So let's look at Akachi. Akachi is 5 million plus, almost 6 million. Hawassa 5.2. Sokoto is 11 million. Kelmani 6 million. Amanzi 4 million. So it seems like Sokoto has more of the cost. That is what we are talking about. So the more cost, it was more costly or expensive in Sokoto. Okay. So we can see that Sokoto has taken a large part of the budget. but we knew it would be expensive since we had to drill many wells. If you select Sokoto, you will see it is almost 40% over budget already. So when you check and you select Sokoto, they are saying it is more than 40%. I don't know why they said 40, but here it is 14. So uh, Sokoto is rough. It's a rough place with few rules. So it makes sense that it is so expensive for teams to work there. We didn't take that into account. Open up a new visual page and create a key indicators visual. So let's open up a new page and call it key indicators. Indicators. Right. Um, think about what we want to analyze and what could explain the high cost. Examples could include the town, province, location type, or even the time it takes to complete a project. Calculate the time difference with a column. We can also check all these. What I could see from the key influences, when we have to drill wells, it is expensive. We took this into account in our budget, so this is not the reason for the high cost. Yes, it's true. The drill, when we started, they said we drill wells and they are expensive. That is why we calculated 1.5, I think something something. So when sources are in rural areas, costs are higher. We took this into account in our budget. So this is not the reason for the high cost. When jobs take long, costs go up. This has two components if you think about it. One is that certain jobs take longer. Installing ATAS at a location takes much longer than installing a filter. But the second component of why a job can take so long is the time it takes to travel to a new location. These travel days can add up a lot over the course of the project and add costs. So we are looking at the time it takes. So that could be a possible cause for the high uh, cost. Create a new visual page and make several charts examining the effect on the average cost of an improvement and try to show the following results. Create a new visual page and make several charts examining the effect on the average cost of an improvement. It says you should show the following result. It is almost twice as expensive to improve a source in a rural area compared to an urban area. So we'll look at rural and urban. So we'll try and put in rural and urban. So location type, great. And then the cost, I think. So we'll put in the cost, right? So they are saying that, so this can be done on a pie chart, right? So it says what? It is almost twice as expensive to improve a source in rural areas compared to an urban area. All right. So this one, rural area than urban. Interesting. So let me choose. Uh, okay. What we are showing here is not twice, it is half. Is it half? Okay. Yeah, that is the only way, because this thing is supposed to be like this. Okay. Sum of costs, location type. Okay, so this one is the sum of the costs, and we want to find the average. So we click and then come in, look for the average. So yeah, so this is the average, and that is what they are talking about, that it is almost as twice. So it is almost twice as expensive to improve a source in a rural area compared to an urban. So a source in a rural area is this one, sorry, in this one, and this is twice as this. So this is 64.7%. This is 35 point something. So it is almost as twice as that. Yeah. Right. So I'll place that one here. No need, I don't want to design anything. So you can design yourself. Sokoto has a very high average cost of improvement, both rurally and urban areas. Sokoto has a very high average cost of improvement. So I will create a bar graph, put in the province, and then the legend will be the location type, so the urban and rural, and we are talking about improvements. Is it improvements kk or improvement cost, average cost of improvement? So where is the improvement, so average cost of improvement, let me put the cost there. So this graph won't help. Let's select the other one, this one, right? Then let's find the average, right? So you see, Sokoto has a very high average cost of improvement, both rurally and urban areas. Okay, so let's not select cost. Let's select sum. Okay, I think the sum is working. They are talking about averagely. Looking at the graph, I don't think they want us to find the average ourselves. So this is it. So Sokoto has a high cost for both rural and urban. We are over budget in every province. Over budget in every province. So what we are going to do is draw a graph for province graph. So, oh sorry, I don't want this. So let me deselect it. So I select this, look for province, and then look for the budget. And then so I think we have to put the budget and then the cost. Oh, the budget and the cost in legend if it will work. All right. So let me use over budget in every program. So over budget. So I want to get the budgets and the costs. Cumulative. I wanted to compare, look at the budget for every province, both the budget and then the cost. That is what I want to show, but I don't know. So budget should be in the legend. I don't know why the legend it doesn't come. Okay. No, this one it won't work. So or we should select heat map. Heat map takes category, that is province, and then it will take values, budgets. Let me take budget and let me take cost and see if it will work. Interesting. So okay. Let me read the question again, the statement again. We are over budget in every province. So there should be a threshold, right? So that we know that it is over or below. Over budget. There should be a threshold. So let's select this and choose province and then the budget. They are saying we are over the budget in every province. So I don't know if there is any settings for this that will show if these are ribbons. What is ribbon? Okay. Okay, so all right. I think I'll leave it like that. If it is a question we have to answer in the MCQ, we know how to go about it because we want to compare this to, okay, let me do that of costs. So that one to the province will come and then the costs. All right. So that we can know what is happening here. Right. Um, this is the costs so far. No problem. So let's leave it like that and then move on. Um, if the questions come, you will know what to do because you now know. I think this thing has been established here already. Or is it? It has been established here already. Yeah. So this is the what's the name? This is the cost, and this is the budget. Okay. So you will know if across all board they are over budget. So you select and you see, you select and you see as you select. So I think that is okay. That is okay. So let's go there again and then we move on. We underestimated the cost of rural improvements in Sokoto. So that one we know it already. While this data is useful to know, we can't do anything about it. Rural areas need larger vehicles that use more fuel. Sources are far apart and there are many of them, but we can't change that. So let's focus on finding a change we can make to make sure we stay on budget. Let's look at the vendors. If you see vendors that are asking too much, we stop using them. Simple. Create a new page showing the average costs vendors are asking for improvement and sort the table from most expensive to the cheapest things. So let's draw something like that. So we go here, we look at maybe vendors, I don't know. So vendors, so create a new page showing the average cost vendors are asking for improvement. So we create a table, then we add the vendors. So where are the vendors? So this is vendors. So we add ID, then the company name, and then I think the company name is okay. The owner doesn't really matter. And then we add what? The cost, average costs for. So we go to project progress and we add costs. Right. So this is it. Right. So we we look for the average. I think average will do. Or I'm wrong. Averagely, the average cost per vendor. Good. Let's see if we are on track. And sort the table from most expensive to the cheapest. So most expensive to the cheapest. Let's use the sum. I think I don't feel comfortable. The average may sell us off. So let me use that. So let me sort it from the. So we click on this, and I think it will arrange it right. Uh-huh. Yeah. So it says what? So some teams are way more expensive than others, right? But we need to compare apples to apples. Teams that drill wells will naturally charge more than teams installing filters. And we also saw that it it also costs more to improve sources in Sokoto and Kilmani. So that's another factor. Create a slicer for dates, improvement type, and rural and urban split, and add our map to this page. Interesting. So add the map. I'll go here and then copy the map. Come to this place and paste it. Okay, so we paste it and then we check if there is any thing that we did or there's any filter. There's no filter, I think so. Right. Says we should create a slicer for a date. So I'm creating a sorry, I'm creating a slicer for the dates. Right. And then I'll create what? Improvement type, aggregated improvements. So I'll create a slicer for aggregated improvements. Aggregated improvement is here. Right. So let me go and change it to tasks or tiles. Okay. I think this is okay. So depends on how you will be arranging them. I am just creating them. And rural urban splits. So we add rural and urban to our slicer. Location type. Then let's change it to rural. Let's change it to town. Good. So this is it. And then that is it. We have the map. So now we can filter by drill well and compare the prices of vendors. If you select the most expensive vendor, what do you notice? Where are they upgrading sources? So now we can filter by drill well. So let's try then drill well. I am wondering why my data is giving me so much decimal places. So values, not values, it should be okay. I want to remove those values that are the decimal places. Okay, so let me do it. So this one is the highest, I think, because it's 461,344. That's not the highest. That's not the highest. So I think there's something I didn't do well here. Let me choose average and see. This is not what I want. So let me try and then let me choose sum. And then I want to reduce the decimal places so that this thing will look specific column. What does it do? It doesn't have that. So I want values. It doesn't have that decimal places kind of. Let me go here. Data format. It doesn't have that. Interesting. Okay. Let me go back to visual and look for the values should have. The values here is just talking about the colors. So totals, cell elements. No. So general. Let me select sum of cost here. Decimal. Interesting. So it was not showing it in decimal. Alright, so I think I've resolved that issue here. I went to data format and then did it there. So data format, there is select the sum of costs, and then you come to format options and then select decimal number. I think that one works. So that when I click on this, I will have the highest to the lowest. Right. So now the drill well has been selected. When I deselect this, what happens? So when I select drill well, this is the highest so far. Right. And that is what they said. They said MBS 605 is drilling wells across the rural part of Sokoto only. So they are working in the harshest conditions. Can we blame them if it costs more? The four most expensive vendors are working either in Sokoto or Kilimani. So this MB605 should know that that will be the first person or the first vendor because it is more expensive. The cheapest four drilling teams are in urban areas and outside of Sokoto. So the cheapest are in urban areas and outside of Sokoto where it is easier to access. So the cheapest drilling teams. So when we come to the cheapest down there and I select, they say they are outside Sokoto. Here is Sokoto and these people are drilling. Let me see, what did they say? The cheapest four drilling teams are in urban areas and outside of Sokoto where it is easier to access. So which team is actually expensive and who isn't? Okay, let me check it again. So the cheapest are these people. Interesting. Let me deselect drill well, and the cheapest is this people. For forces one is the cheapest, right? When I select, he said they're outside Sokoto, but this is Sokoto. Huh? Okay. So it says isn't okay, so let's see. They are saying the cheapest is outside Sokoto. The four cheapest. So this one is outside. Yeah, it's true. This one is also somehow outside. This one, some of them are outside. I think they were using this one is not really outside Sokoto. But we will take it like that. Isn't that beautiful? As people, we often make choices simple for ourselves, but here the data tells us if we fired the expensive teams, it would have been a mistake. Don't believe me yet? Select all of the teams installing filters RO and RO plus UV. So let's select those people. Installing filters RO. So I press Ctrl and select this. Let me deselect the well. Select RO and press Ctrl and select this. Right. So they are saying that we should select those, and we are going to look at two vendors. This vendor ERI 893, ERI 893. So when we go to the top, we see that is the first person here. Right, that is the most expensive in this. The best water purification installers in the whole of Maji Ndogo, NTB RO installers. So these are the people, NTB RO installers. Okay. And OW290, a not so good company called Ogadugu Waterways. So that is OW, so not so good. They will be somewhere, they are here, somewhere here. They are not so good. That's what they are saying. Did you notice ER is the most expensive filter installer in Maji Ndogo? They are asking almost 50% more than the cheapest thing. So looking at this, you see that these people have about 1.3 million compared to the cheapest is 60, wait, 633. So 600 plus 600 should be 1.2. So that is about half of it, 50%, more than half. So they said asking almost 50% more. How can the leader then say they are the best team in Maji Ndogo? Haha, where did they work? Why do I say they are the best team? Well, first add the count of completed projects to the table. Who finished the most projects? I won't laugh again. So we are going to add the count of projects. So that is the count of improvements. So here we add it to it. We count, we select count. Great, great. So they are saying you are still doubting me, right? They are expensive. So when you look at these people, who are having expensive, they are 192. They have completed 192 projects. So they have completed more than any other person or any other company. Filter the table to only include the data for rural areas and the Sokoto province. So let's filter to get only the rural areas, and so rural, and we select Sokoto. We are supposed to select a province, I think. Okay, so I selected rural and selected Sokoto, and these people come up again. Entebbe Arrow installers is the best team in Maji Ndogo. Look how cheap they are when we compare them to the other teams in the right context. Now I am being playful. So these people, they completed more projects. Let me check. So let me open it up. So look at that. In the rural areas, they completed 192 as compared to the rest. The rest, even the highest is 49. So from 192 to 49. So these people have completed more projects than any other person in the rural areas. Um, so we keep exploring the data and finding the truth. In the next 5 years of your career, this is the skill that you will develop, and one day you will sniff around in the data like I did to find this nugget. Look at how Entebbe RO installers moved through Maji Ndogo completing jobs compared to Ouagadougou Waterworks. I think this is the one that contains the video that they are moving around. The other one, I don't know. I've forgotten what was there. So if I misled you, sorry about that one. So this one has a video where you see that the blue lines will be moving somewhere around the same area from one point to another, before it will move to another area at a long distance, and then that area too, it will be moving there small small. But the orange one was moving from one long distance to another, like long distances like that. It was moving haphazardly along Maji Ndogo, all locations in Maji Ndogo. But the blue ones were moving somewhere around, let's say, Sokoto. It will move there for some time before it will move to another province. It will move up sometime to another place. So that is how the video looks like. The Entebbe Arrow installers stayed in one place, picking up new projects near them, keeping their travel costs low, while Ouagadougou Waterways is moving from town to town between rural areas, traveling a lot between the projects. Perhaps they are not considering that less travel means they can start new projects quicker. Entebbe RO installers has made the most out of all the purification teams, not because they charge a lot, but because their choices mean they get more projects than cool, right? So what can we do? Well, I'll get our designers and animators to make a video and create some digital infographics we can send to the teams, explaining how they can improve and how to search for jobs closer to them on the system. If one team follows our advice, we make a small change, but hopefully all of them take notes and pick jobs that are more optimal. If this worked, we might even get our budget under control. Last thing, isn't it amazing that all of this insight is hidden in the data? We could spend another year just learning from it. By being curious and determined, we can uncover the truth hidden within. We'll check in again once we have more data. Until then, take care. So this is the data they brought after 4 years. So when you download this, it will be labeled MD Water Services Data 3. If yours hasn't been labeled like that, it doesn't mean that it is not that data. Maybe you don't have MD Water Services in the downloads folder, so it will not add the one or the two or the three. So you should be careful about that, and then select the right data. So they are saying 5 years. Is it 5 years? 4 years later. So we are going to change our source, data source. So I go to data source. So this one is there. So you can also save this as, and this time around save it as model 4 project 4 version 2. Okay, so that you will not find yourself wanting. So data source settings, then we are going to change this to the third one. So the one we just downloaded, then browse, and then we select 3, then open. Okay, then close this. We apply the changes, click on apply changes, and wait for the data to be updated. Good. So it looks like there have been a lot that has changed. Looking here, interesting. So I'll deselect Sokoto so that I'll see what is going on. You see that the map is all blue. So it means they have completed all the work because sources to go is 0. It is 0. And percentage population now basic. Now 100% of our project, they are all having basic water service. And people help, we help 18 million people. And this is the total population of the place. And there's no metric. All right, because we are done with all the projects, so there's nothing there. Oh, no, the metric should show because yeah, so it has shown. So we have the total budget here 146, and then we spent 154. That is the amount we spent. So it was minus 5.29%. At least it wasn't so much above the budget. So let's go here and check, did it work? So they are asking if it worked, and it worked for us. So far so good. I've come to the end of this tutorial, and then thank you for your time. I will urge you to go through this video carefully. If you don't understand anything, you just go back and then check it again. And mind you, if I made any errors or anything that I have to also learn in addition to what I've taught or I've shown you, you can also chat me. I'm ready to learn a lot about this data analytics. So I think that's all. Thank you very much.